Are your parents encouraging you to get a college education?
Let me kill him!
Have we got a school for you? Forget Harvard. Forget Princeton. Learn to earn big bucks fast.
Beef plus buns equal bucks.
Come to Buster Burger University.
Fall in over here.
And see Hamburger, the motion picture.
We're here to learn to run a Buster Burger franchise.
A lot of bull in every bite. A lot of bull in every bite.
But you'll get more than just an education at Buster Burger U.
Are you crazy?
You'll be stimulated by a student body that shares your interests.
Real neat.
You'll find a faculty that really cares about you. On-the-job training will get you ready.
Can I, Buster, help you?
For the fast-paced world of fast food.
All I ever wanted was to be a Buster Burger manager.
America, you're getting burger hungry. Hungry for the burger that makes you full. You're chopping for the taste of a Buster Burger. Our famous Buster Burger that's full of wood. The one and only Buster Burger that's full of wood.
Buster Burger, America's favorite drive-thru restaurant. Hamburger, the motion picture. It's funny enough to eat.
Hey, it's Nickrob. We're constantly being told that we're living in a golden age of television, but outside of a few prestige shows, it doesn't seem like much has changed. In fact, it's often difficult to find interesting television, as the trend has attracted a glut of television shows, chasing the lightning bolt that has just struck. Many seem to be thrown together, just trying to fill a time slot instead of telling a meaningful story. There's definitely more to watch on television, but I don't find myself watching it more. However, if you look outside the zeitgeist, you can find the new, the unknown, the different, and it can be fascinating. While watching an exceptionally terrible early season NFL game, I was introduced to The Tour.
All right, we're going to take you for the tour. First floor, bun. Second floor, 2 patties. Third floor, penthouse, 6 strips of bacon, sesame seed roof. Sunset.
Try the new Bacon King with a half pound of beef and 6 strips of crispy bacon. It's truly the Bacon King, only at Burger King.
Yes, a Burger King commercial. I found this ad to be strangely compelling and strangely interesting. The ad is simple, quick, only 8 seconds, but it asks so many questions. Who is this guy? Why is he showcasing a burger as if it were a condo? Who is he talking to? Who is his friend that never speaks? What would my house be if it were a burger? In short, I had to know everything about it. Our tour guide for this burger is an actor by the name of Clint Brink. On the average day of television, you will see thousands of actors, all with histories, dreams, and real lives. We recognize the famous and wealthy, but the rest are quickly forgotten. But they don't have to be. Clint, thank you for joining me.
You are welcome.
Cool. So, Clint Brink, when you introduce yourself to something new, how do you introduce yourself? Like, I'm Clint Brink, blank.
In terms of...
Like, you just meet somebody, like this is who I am, this is what I do.
Well, I typically, nowadays, if I'm introducing myself to someone, well, obviously I've been using my first and last name just to give a general sense of, like, I
think names are important, and I find names exciting and interesting that
Totally.
people have. So I like to share my whole name.
Brink's a good last name too.
Yeah, thank you. My full name's Clinton Corey Brink.
That's a good 3 name.
Yeah, that's how I was born, and a lot of people ask me if it's a fake name or whatever, but it's my real name.
That's always a great compliment if you're told like your name may be fake.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like people sometimes don't believe it, but what can I do? Just the way it is. I've thought about going by Clinton Brink or Clinton Corey, but
no. Those aren't as good.
No, all right, cool. Well, thank you. And in terms of what, I just kind of wait for someone to ask me a question instead of just putting it out there about what I do.
Okay.
If someone's interested, like if I just feel like I say, hey, my name's Clint Brink, I'm an actor, it just, in my opinion, it'll be good when I don't have to introduce myself as an actor.
Totally.
People will just know.
Totally.
And I think that's more powerful for an actor to say. And so if I get into an in-depth conversation with someone I've just introduced myself to, I will tell them what I do for, living in my day-to-day life. But as far as just surrendering any sort of information right off the bat, I'm kind of hesitant to do that.
Okay, you're taking the mysterious angle.
Yeah, I think not by choice, but it's just easier. It's just easier to kind of, keep things to yourself and have something to talk about rather than just give this information out right off the bat.
Right.
Because I live in LA.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of actors in LA, and there's a lot of people who are trying to be in this world, and maybe they're not working as much as others, and I don't know. It's sometimes it gets a little bit of a bad rap if you're kind of a struggling actor. So
right, you don't want to get pegged as like just a kind of wannabe or that sort of
yeah,
thing.
and I'm pretty serious about my craft, and I just feel like I can pretty soon here become known as being an actor without having to, like I said, introduce myself as one.
Right, totally. So speaking of that sort of thing, how did you get into this? How did you find like this is what I wanted to do, this is what I wanted to pursue?
I've always been a creative person, whether it's thinking outside the box and more of a visual learner, and I get very inspired by cool stories and human nature. And I started my acting career, I would say, in a play when I was about 6 or 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
I did about 3 of them. It was in between. I was also into sports as a young kid. I just really enjoyed the atmosphere, whether it's in a play or it's on set. I just love it. I think working together for one single goal, it's very rare in life when so many people just have one specific defined objective. And I believe you get very unique and incredible experiences in this career. And there's so many things that I've done up until this point that have just kept me motivated. Granted, some of the careers of it's very difficult. It's very emotionally draining, but
and unpredictable.
Unpredictable, and even when you think you've gotten a job or you landed a commercial that's going to come out, and it never ends up coming out. So there's just so many things that can go one way or the other, and you just hope that you're able to stay in the game long enough where it starts going your way. And I've just found that it's come the more I train and the more experience that I get, I just kind of had a natural, relaxed sort of sensibility on set, and when I'm actually acting.
That's
That
great.
it's come easily for me. Not to say that it's an easy thing to do, but if I'm prepared and when I put my work in, it's very rewarding to me, and it's not like I'm trying too hard.
Okay.
And I think that's important. I think that's important for someone's career goals to choose something that they're naturally skilled at, that comes easy to them, and it's just so much fun. I love the variation. I love new things. I love experiencing different things rather than, getting in a strict routine. So it's a big adventure, and I love adventures. I love challenges. I view it as a challenge. I think challenges are good. I think it's important for one to test themselves and see what they can handle and what they can't handle. That's why I'm gravitated towards acting. Is it's so rewarding to me when you complete a project, you finally get to see it, and if you're lucky enough to have an audience and people are entertained, and you can, as simple as it may be, express an emotion and a sort of message that resonates with people. It's just very powerful.
Totally. So what's been your biggest challenge then? Because, I see acting just as a complete challenge, because you're just waiting for the right situation to fall in and hope that you find out about it, hope that the people find you, etc. Like, it's like being a puzzle piece.
Exactly. The biggest challenge is, I feel, if I am extremely prepared for an opportunity that comes my way, I have a much higher chance of gaining success. But sometimes it's difficult to dig deep and find that motivation to memorize all those lines and to really put yourself out there. And so that's been a big challenge, is really putting the time in. It takes a lot of time to wrap your head around a character, to understand the nuances of the character, to read the script 3 times,
right?
To get the scene down where you don't need to obviously look at the lines anymore. They become part of you. That's a major challenge, because it takes it takes hours and hours and hours of your day.
Right, and it's all unseen labor.
It is, and that's just part of the game. That's part of what I take on as an actor, because the reward is so great. But actually getting those first, when my agent emails me the first script, and I just sit there and I go through it, and I like sit down and get to work. That's because sometimes you get a little bit. I get a little bit of anxiety.
Totally.
In the beginning stages.
I think
yeah.
all of entertainment's anxiety driven.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like that's where, like, a lot of writers are like trying to write themselves self-therapy. A lot of actors are trying to find themselves through exploring other people. And then just like a lot of the reasons why people make, the dick moves against each other laterally or downwards is a lot because of insecurity and anxiety.
And that's why, brings us back to the first question of what I do if I'm first meeting someone, because you do get I do get that sometimes, someone possibly trying to be on the more negative side rather than a positive supporting side. If I were to just come out straight and say, hey, I'm an actor. Totally. Like, oh yeah, you and everyone else, right?
Right.
So that's just a kind of a protection, like to see if this person is really like a friendly, or they're kind of going to be rude about it. So that's definitely, I agree with you. At the same time, I kind of keep that away from my experience, the negativity, and like kind of just let it go, because there's always going to be people on either side saying you're great or saying you suck, and you just can't let that, like, there could be so many comments of people enjoying your work, and then, like, if you let that one negative comment get to you, which it does, I mean, it's like that one negative comment can be so much more powerful than, like, the 20 good ones that you get. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it just digs at you.
Yeah, and you obviously want people to like you, but not everyone's going to.
Yeah, I know that. So you've been mentioning commercials a lot. Is commercial acting like your focus, or your focus for now, or just something you more fell into?
The opportunities currently are there's a lot of opportunity for me in the commercial world, and I came after going on hundreds and hundreds of auditions. I finally became comfortable in showing up to these. They're shorter. It's like commercials are you have to get your point across very quickly.
Yeah.
But you can't. But the movements are a lot smaller, and they're a lot. It's a lot drier sort of comedy.
Right.
In these commercials, regardless of what the commercial's even about.
Right. Are you? Sorry,
what?
I'm sorry. Are you saying, like, you feel that it was a change within yourself that really led to your success in?
Yes, absolutely. It was. It was a major change within myself. That happened I started just kind of being myself. If that makes any sense.
Totally. Yeah.
Because no matter how, like, I don't really get nervous anymore when I'm auditioning, and it took a while for me to get to that point. Because if you're nervous, it's hard to just act like yourself.
Right.
And that's where I've been having a lot of success, when I can just kind of be myself and more natural, rather than putting on a different face, or trying to do something that's not really me. And it just doesn't. That method of just, like I said, being relaxed and being confident in who I am has changed my success rate quite a bit.
That's great. Congrats
on
that. So you're saying there's a lot of opportunities in this, like?
Yeah, there's times when I'm auditioning 8 to 10 times a week for commercials, and then there's obviously sometimes where I won't have a commercial in a week. So it just ranges. But I've had so many opportunities thanks to my agent. Now it's just second nature to go in there and express myself and take task and make it my own.
That's
so
great.
It's like it's not like a life or death situation anymore. Like, oh, I get an audition. Oh my God, I got to put every single bit of my emotion into this. It's just there'll be more to come. Like, whatever. Just kind of more chill about it, and that's definitely made me more creative and more open to a situation that may come, because that's what I've found. Like, on all the jobs there's just one little moment that I have to get the call back, and then I repeat that same moment in the callback, and then inevitably I repeat that same moment in the commercial. It just you just create one thing and you stick with it. And then it's so funny that sometimes those exact things that I have done in the first audition have made it through every round, and then finally into the final product. So you got to come up with something. You got to come up with something fresh that's real.
So you're bringing a lot to these then?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Is this like something you're hoping to ride for a while, or are you looking to do, bigger and better things? Or, I mean, not that these are not good things,
No, of course. My goal is to be in feature films. And
you're working on it.
I'm working on it, yes. My recent success in the commercials has transferred into me getting a great management team, a great agent, and now I'm getting opportunities in this pilot season that I haven't received before in my career, and I'm starting to get great feedback on those as well. So I believe that it's all a learning process, and it's for me, it's going to take a lot of opportunities before, one of these things comes through for me, and then I'll be able to say that I'm on a TV show, and I'll be able to do the things that I really like, kind of get more in depth in the character and establish myself more as a film actor. I've done a couple films. I've done a couple indie films that turned out really well. I've done some episodics on TV. But my next real goal is to find myself on a television show or in a movie. It takes, a lot more skill and preparation to get those. There's a lot of competition out for these jobs.
Yeah, I admire your resilience because, like,
yeah.
I mean, I live in LA too. Like, I talk to a lot of actors, all the time, and a lot of them are just kind of sad sacks, mopey people. And they don't, they kind of end up moving back home or trying New York out or that sort of thing.
Definitely, it takes a lot to stick around in LA. Luckily, I'm from close. I'm from an hour south of here, in a city called Yorba Linda. My family's still back there. I moved from Yorba Linda and went to UCLA. I've been able to stay sane because my family's so close. My
you can
family's
get
so
out.
Important. Exactly. Not without having to actually move home.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is your family involved in entertainment or?
No, they're not.
Oh, that's great.
My mom's a teacher and my dad is he's a builder.
Oh, wow.
I have a younger sister who is just incredibly talented. She runs a business doing custom calligraphy for special events and major companies and brands, and she's doing amazing at that. So that's
wow.
That's a very artistic thing. I really respect her she started her own business on her own. She's got a really great husband and a young kid named Felix. So they're doing amazing. But I'm the most kind of out there in my career choice in my family. That's for sure. I
mean, I personally would have not thought calligraphy would have been a solid, promising career. But what do I know? I'm not.
And she was, she kind of started off just doing it for fun.
Right.
And then here and there, she would get little people be like, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? And now she has a flourishing business. It just kind of worked out for her.
Yeah. Seems like resilience runs in the Brink family here.
It does. That's for sure.
In preparation for this, I tried to research as much as I could about you, which is hard because of the South African Clint Brink.
Yes.
Do you have?
I don't know if that's his real name.
Oh.
To tell you the truth.
Oh my.
And he's I don't know. It's getting pretty tough, man.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty tough with this guy.
I mean,
I think he needs to change his name.
Trust me, like, Nick Robinson, it's common. So it's like I have the kid who was the star of Jurassic World. I have the guy who runs BBC, and so like I'll get all their like Twitter messages, and I'll fuck with the people, but I think these other ones have got to go.
Yeah, man, and it's like when you Google me or someone's looking up me, and then this bald guy pops up, it's like, come on, like that's not to say anything that there's wrong with him or anything like that, but that's just not who I am.
Right.
So I think people will see this picture like, oh, that's Clint Brink, and they get confused.
All right,
So,
fake Clint Brink, gotta go.
Yeah, I don't really know how to deal with this problem, but it's definitely come up a few times where they've seen him and thought that was me. But eventually, I feel like if my career keeps on flourishing and going in the direction that it's going now, that I'll surpass him and I will be, the real Clint Brink will show through.
You just have to overpower him.
Exactly.
There's nothing else you can do. I'm sad to say there's nothing else.
Exactly. Yep. And that's everyone has their battles. Everyone has their battles, and this is one of mine.
Oh, I'm on your side.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But the research I did find that was you. 100% was you were trying to be on The Price is Right as one of the valets.
That is me. Yep.
What was that like?
So,
because the picture is pretty great of it because it's you And it's the sticker name tag just on your chest, which I can't imagine was fun to take off.
Yeah, that was the least of my worries during that situation. I don't even know what I would call it. I guess a show. It was a
Dog and Pony show.
Yeah, it was the Price is Right was doing. They had female presenters the entire history of the show.
For the entire history of the world.
Exactly. And exactly.
I mean, I think the show predates television. Come on.
They've been doing that show for probably 2,000 years now, I think. So when for example, you get a living room set.
Right.
So they were all female models presenting the lamps and the desks that you would have. And so someone had the idea that there was going to be the first male
right
to be on the show. And one of my ex-agents back in the past said, hey, let's, I submitted you. They had like a big open call.
He submitted you just like that? He didn't even say like, hey, would you be interested? Just like, hey, you're doing this?
She asked me.
Okay.
Asked if I was interested in doing something like this. And I said at that point in my career, I said, sure, why not? Let me try it out.
Can't win if you don't play.
It was just a big casting process. There was, I don't know how many guys, but it was like supposedly nationwide.
Wow.
And so it started off where it's like a big American Idol thing almost, where you kind of stand in line and you get an interview, and then all of a sudden I made it to the next round, and then I made it to the next round, and then finally they had narrowed it down to probably 50 guys, I'd say.
Like, were you being judged by Drew Carey at this time, or?
No. These were other people interviewing, just trying to get, interesting guys to be kind of the final selection.
Okay.
And actually, I was never interviewed by Drew Carey. It was just the people who were on the show day to day. I don't think Drew Carey ever showed up for this because it was an online thing.
Right.
But he was aware of it. He would like during the show he was like, okay, go to pricesright.com and vote for your favorite. Once I finally made the top 3. So they did this. It was like they did I forget when they started actually filming the reality show for Price is Right.
There's a whole reality show around this?
Yeah, there was a whole reality show on pricesright.com where they would advertise that choosing, the first male model presenter. So they got it down to like 15, the top 15 or something like that.
Like
and then
was this like a reality show where it's like you guys are all living in a house, or you guys are like,
no,
I'm going to cut Trevor's throat today by, setting him up to fail?
Well, it was similar to that. It wasn't. There was no throat slitting going on.
And I don't mean literally, of course. But.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just kidding. But there was they would have us do different challenges. So
like what?
Like competitions, and I mean, I'm sure you could go back and find the actual show, and where they had us do a singing competition, and they had us do an actual presenting competition where we were on stage, the Price is Right stage, like presenting a snowboard or something like that, and to see they wanted to see how we would react when the lights and camera and action were going on, and see who could actually, because it's a lot more difficult than it seems,
right,
to tell you the truth, to look, I don't know, correct when you're advertising these products, because it's a very serious world. There's a lot of money going on when you're actually advertising the Sea-Doo that you're going to win. You got to make sure the Sea-Doo looks fun and you're smiling. Like, my jaws were just so tired at the end of the days, because you have to smile the entire time.
No, trust me, I'm a terrible sloucher, and so like after 15 minutes, I'm just like, oh, fuck this,
Right. And so, what happened is the judges were the three main girls who were on the show.
Oh.
And then also the host. And so they, at the end of each day, would eliminate like three guys until it eventually they narrowed it down to the top three. And then the top three was me and two other guys. I had made the top three. And then it was released to the American public on the internet to vote on the website of who they wanted to see as the first male model on The Price is Right.
Yeah. These internet voting things, like, I don't know. I'm not a fan. Like, it seems like there's always like someone who can like hire a hacker or, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
I don't want to get into all that. I agree with you, but
okay. So
I'll take.
You're not saying it, but I can say the votes may be fraudulent.
I don't know the right. I don't know the right way to sort of just. I guess I say no comment here.
Yeah, no comment.
Okay.
But you're not saying they're not illegitimate.
I just want to say that I think it was good for my career that I didn't win.
Do you hate the winner?
No, absolutely not. No. I think the guy's a talented guy, good-looking, talented guy. No hate on the winner. I think I would just say that it was a good experience, and I'm happy with the way that it turned out.
Right. It left you free.
Yeah, I was disappointed that I didn't win. I'm a very competitive person. And then at the same time, like, it would have been a great thing to have on the show. And I know the gentleman who won did a great job at it. And he gained a lot of fans and people loved him. And so it was great for him. I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but I know that The Price is Right has now brought on male models.
Are you implying you don't regularly watch The Price is Right?
I haven't watched. I didn't turn it on today and watch it. So yeah, I don't exactly know what's going on. But yeah, I'm implying that I'm not a frequent watcher of The Price is Right. Even though I think it's a pretty cool show.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in a while, and there were definitely things that I didn't know on the show that other contestants definitely did know. So it was funny. It was just a funny. That's what I'm saying about this career. You never know where you're gonna end up, kind of.
Right.
Doing
your destiny
like
lies elsewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, it worked out the way it did, and that's my journey. I know I did a good job on the show. I know a lot of people like me. I know
top three. Yeah, you'd have to do it. You couldn't fail upwards that much.
Right. I gained confidence from it. It's funny to look back at some of the video that was going on. My like, people from my hometown and family and friends, like, they all like were super into getting votes, and having people vote for me and like putting it on Facebook, like, oh, vote for my friend, he's on the show. I don't know. It was you see who's like really supportive of you in your fan base and your friends and family, and then it's also funny to see like people who get super enthusiastic about these shows, and they really want to find a winner, and they really want to like know who these people are. It's a big learning experience.
You may have lost the contest, but you gained knowledge and confidence. I think you're a winner after all.
Thank you very much.
From there, you kind of go into commercials.
I had been auditioning for commercials. I'd done it before that. I did an Old Navy campaign.
Oh, with Mr. T.
Ferris. Yeah, with Anna Faris and Mr. T.
Were you ever in the same room?
With Mr. T?
With any of them?
Oh yeah, I have a scene with Anna Faris. I mean,
that's right.
Super funny scene where the ad is about these T-shirts, these super soft, like, quality T-shirts that Old Navy's putting out.
Do you have
any?
And
Anna Faris, I don't own any. No, I didn't get. Normally, you don't get to keep the clothes on set. It's very rare that you actually. Everyone asks me, "Oh, did you get to keep the stuff?" Like, no.
But
even though I'd want to sometimes, I never get to.
But maybe it didn't even convince you to go buy your own T-shirt? You weren't convinced?
No, I was definitely convinced. I kind of didn't find myself going into an Old Navy store. But I definitely was like down with the softness and the quality. It was great. It was a nice T-shirt.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I auditioned for this commercial, ended up getting it, and I was really excited. It was like a big moment in my career.
Absolutely.
And so working with Anna Faris, we were just doing like a bunch of improv and a bunch of comedy, just funny things. That she's wearing a boxy tee, like it wasn't cut right. It wasn't a slim cut, like soft tilled material.
Right.
Like the superior Old Navy shirts were supposed to be. And she was in a very bad mood in her dressing room, and I played a PA trying to get her to set. And she's in a very terrible mood in her dressing room, and I open up the door, and I tell her, there's 5, very timidly, because I'm scared, because I know she's in this crazy bad mood.
Right.
And I say she has to be on set in 5 minutes, and she turns around and she starts screaming at me, like totally hilarious, like just freaking out, losing her mind. And she picks up this vase and like hucks it at me, and I like duck out of the way, and I look at her, and then they cut to the next scene, and she's wearing the Old Navy vest tee, and I opened up, and obviously I say like very timidly, 5 minutes, and she's like, oh, she's so sorry for what she did, and she's giving me these pies and these cakes and these gifts, and she's like, I'm super confused at why she's in such a good mood now, but it's obviously because she's wearing a very comfortable T-shirt.
Turns anybody's mood around.
Yeah, exactly. And then Mr. T was just the ultimate spokesman for the T-shirts. So that was fun. Anna Faris is an amazing actress. I was lucky to work with her, and we got some great footage. And that's just one of those things in life that you get to do that is like a new, different story.
Right. So that was your first big commercial then?
I'd done, that was definitely the biggest job I'd done up till that point, for sure.
That's good.
I did when I was younger. I started modeling, and I had done some modeling campaigns, and then I'd done a Payless shoes commercial, and then I think that next job was the Old Navy spot, where I actually got to like speak on camera and do dialogue and express myself that way, which was awesome.
That's fantastic. It's available on YouTube. I have found it on YouTube if you want to go revisit the memories.
Oh, I have it on my reel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you have a reel online?
No, I don't have it online.
Oh, okay.
It's on what my agents submit.
Oh, okay.
It's a press kit for what my agents send out. Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying if you want to relive the memories.
Oh, I did. Yeah, definitely. I think I would like to see it again. Maybe I will YouTube it and check it out.
What's next then? On your iSpot profile and stuff, like you have this Michelob ad that you're working out in, and like this Marriott one.
Yeah, the Marriott one was pretty recent. That was for it was for Win Chance Courtyard, Marriott Hotels. It was giving a lucky fan or contestant the opportunity to sleep over at the Super Bowl, which I thought was awesome.
Like in the actual building?
Yeah, I think they set up a hotel room in from what I understood the competition was about, or the sweepstakes was about, is you were going to literally wake up at the Super Bowl. Yeah, which was awesome. Like, I would have loved to do that. So I was in the commercial, in the spot, I was the contestant who won. Right. And so I'm like, at the stadium before everyone else is there, like in my robe, drinking a hot cup of coffee, like wandering around searching for the Wi-Fi password and where my room was. The game wasn't going to start for a long time because I was there so early. It was such a fun job to shoot. That was so fun.
Where'd you shoot it?
We shot it at the Coliseum in downtown LA.
The home of the Rams.
Yes, sir. That was before. That was that was right before the Rams had played their first season there.
It was probably better off.
Yeah, it was home. It was definitely that's where SC plays all their home games, and it was a really crazy experience because for about 90% of the day, it was me and just the film crew on set. So when they were setting up the shot, I just went and sat in the stadium and looked at the field with no one else around, and it was kind of very this eerie feeling. I mean, just so much history has happened at the Coliseum. I mean, the Olympics were played there, so I kind of just looked at how big it was and how nice the grass was and just a cool view, and it just was so quiet. To be the only one sitting there was kind of I'll never forget that. Yeah. Hopefully I'll get to experience that again, but that was fun.
That's a rare experience, you know.
So it got me into the character so easily. I'm here before everyone else is there. So we ended up getting some great shots on that. That job.
Okay, so that's a little
yeah, it was a method.
Method, yeah.
Method. Just putting myself in that environment.
Are you generally a method actor, or?
I like to live by this quote, which is live truthfully under imaginary circumstances.
I like that. I like that.
Which is Meisner technique.
Okay, yeah. And then there's this one, the Burger King commercial. I guess this would be your largest one to date, would you say? I mean, the Old Navy may be the competitor.
Well, I guess, yeah, definitely the most plays and the most recognized, for sure.
Yeah, you are on a lot of NBA games.
Yeah, there's a time where it's playing, it's still playing all the time. Burger King is definitely the most recent. I've done a few jobs since, but they haven't come out yet.
Okay. Is it hard to keep track of what's on and what's not?
No. I mean,
or do you even care?
Most of my friends, no, I definitely care, but I kind of have a network of people looking out for me, and they'll tell me, I'll get a text, dude, did I just see you on this? Dude, did I just see you on that? That's the easiest way of keeping everything straight. Yeah. It's always funny to hear from an old friend that you went to high school with telling me they saw me on TV.
This Burger King commercial, they're really interesting to me because you're only on there for 9 seconds of the whole commercial.
Right.
When your agent emails you, what do you know about this?
What about what?
Just how do they bring an ad like this to you?
My agent sent me the appointment, and in the audition, you can you're in the waiting room. Normally, they have a breakdown of what they're looking for.
Right. Do you know it's Burger King at this point? Or?
Yes. Yeah, I knew it was Burger King.
Do you know a script or?
Most of the times in commercials, they don't give you a script beforehand, but sometimes they do if there's a lot of dialogue that they want you to remember.
Right.
But most of the time, for just the first calls, they'll bring everyone in and give a group explanation on what the spot's about.
Okay.
And what they want you to do, and what moments they want you to hit.
So you're in there with the other guys, and they say,
yeah. Hey. The first audition, I was in there with, I think, 3 or 4 guys. They wanted some guys to look like they had just kind of come from the gym.
Okay.
They were getting a burger after their workout.
All right. Not the usual course of events, but all right.
Well, yeah, hey, man, you crushed the gym super hard. You got to get some protein, right?
That's true. You've earned it at this point.
Yeah, exactly. But then, so then they want you to read the lines that they prepared. They had a series of lines. Burger King kind of wanted the ad to go in that direction. That particular casting director gave us kind of an opportunity to do some improv as well and just kind of live in the moment and see what built up from that. That went really well in my first audition. It was funny. It was relaxed. I had a motive and an objective, and my fellow actors that were in the room with me were right on there too. So we were all getting some funny stuff. They go through all the audition tapes, right?
Right.
And they choose people for the callback. And in the callback, the director was in the room, and the producers are in the room, and some representatives for Burger King apparently are there too. So Chris Bellman is the director for these Burger King spots.
Okay.
He was sort of like an interviewer, was asking us questions of what we thought about the Bacon King.
Right.
And how incredible this thing was, and the fact that it was so delicious and so much meat and just a monster of a burger, right? And
right.
Just kind of and just asking us off-the-wall questions of how much we love this thing.
Do you love this thing?
Of course I love this thing, man. You got to, man. This thing's it's a great burger. What are you talking about?
I've actually not had one, but I'll have to try it out.
Well, you gotta go try it out. Telling you what.
I'll go after we finish up.
I think I ate about 50 of them on the actual day.
Oh my God!
Every cut, there's a professional on set that is actually just designated to bring a fresh burger out, and me and Nick would sit there and mess around and take bites and really enjoy it, and then cut. And they have bring a new one out, and it was a lot of burgers that day. And funny enough, they ended up using a take that I didn't eat any of it. So.
Right. I was about to say. So on this, like, it's a lot of like improv.
Yeah.
So you just made up the burger as a building.
So yeah, that wasn't in the script. We had a loose outline.
Mm-hmm.
So like in my callback, Chris, the director, was there, and we just had a great vibe.
Right.
You know, I got what I could do to reinforce his vision, and we just got along great. And when I walked out of the callback, I thought, damn, that callback really went well. I hope I get it.
Right.
And then I think a week later, my agent called me and said I booked the commercial, and so I was like, that really did go good. I knew it. I knew I had a good callback there. And so we started talking. Like, me and Nick were sitting there, and we were just kind of getting on like a certain wavelength of the comedy side of what's funny, and we're trying to find something funny that also makes the burger look great. And it's a 15-second spot. 8 of the seconds was designated for dialogue, and then 8 of it went to the actual food shots. So that was one of the difficult parts about that shoot day, to get enough content within those 8 seconds that was funny enough to use.
Yeah.
For the actual commercial.
Yeah, it's a tough balance being funny and informative.
Yeah, it is. And so like a lot of it was they were obviously going to find it from the editing and just kind of cut and like do different editing tricks to make it all seem like one continuous conversation. But what happened was, apparently I was kind of like, I remember getting this take, and me and Chris like looked at each other, and Nick was like right in the moment there, and we just kind of like, that was a great take. But it took a little while to get there.
Right.
To get to that actual perfect one take where we got it. So I ended up saying something like, I want to show you what this burger's all about. Like there's the foundation, and I went through like a very like abstract version of the spot's called The Tour. So like we call it The Tour now.
Right.
So I went through an abstract version of that, and then one of the writers, or one of the creatives, kind of heard what I had said and said, "Oh, dude, that's cool. Okay, so just like go back and just take us through the tour of this burger." And right there, like I just caught on, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna explain this thing like I was a realtor and I was trying to sell this apartment, this 3-story apartment, and that's how it came through. And the line at the end where I say like sunset, I used to live in Westwood, which is like a city in LA. Mm-hmm. And I had a sun deck, and I would always watch the sunset from my sun deck. And so I just like, it just came to me at that point where I was just like at the end of the tour, you're at the top and you can look over on the sun deck and see the sunset. The first ones were like way too long.
Right. They always are. Yeah.
Yeah. I was explaining like all the parts of this burger. And then one time, the final one, or one of the final ones, it was like, I was like, all right, let's roll again. Let's do this one right now. Like I got it right now. And I just did that one take, and it fit perfectly within the 8 seconds that we needed. That was kind of a wrap on that one. Even though we filmed for the rest of the day, like getting different stuff, everyone kind of,
the room knew, huh?
Yeah, like we heard everyone cracking up outside who was watching it on the monitors, and that was just a cool experience. Just kind of like, sometimes you just know. You never know what the final product's going to be, but
right. You
just
found
like that one just worked. That's my favorite part about acting, is getting like that one little gem that you can use after a long day of shooting, and it was really rewarding to finally see that on tape.
Have you ever like rattled it off for like friends and family?
Oh yeah, people have asked me to do it. Having drinks at the bar or whatever.
So you get
may
recognized
not-
from this.
I may or may not have said it a few times, yeah. Or some people will say like certain parts of it, certain lines that they like.
So people see you and say, "Hey, you're the Burger King guy." Like
Definitely,
have you?
definitely people that I know, they're like, dude, they definitely know. If I'm having a conversation about what I do, and people ask me, what have I seen you in? And I
Right,
can say,
totally.
I can tell them, well, I did a Burger King commercial. Then they're like, oh yeah, like I've been in Hawaii and told people and they've seen it. I've been in different places and like, oh yeah, totally, that is you. And they're like, I've seen that a million times. But as far as being recognized, like right out of the blue,
Yeah, no, like walking.
that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But, yeah. If I kind of tell people, then they definitely, they'll be like, it dawns on them like, oh, okay, yeah, now I get it. Totally, I've totally.
Do you find it absurd? Do you enjoy it? Like,
well,
I mean, you also have writer. Yeah, you wrote it basically, so.
Yeah, it was a collaboration.
Right.
It was a collab between all of us, and everyone's proud of it. Like they can take ownership of being there that day, and we all kind of came together and made something that worked, made something that was able to tough to get something on TV, and that one did. So everyone's kind of happy and proud of that one.
I greatly enjoy it. Like I
well, thank you very much.
I find it something just like so kind of absurd, but you know,
it is. It's completely absurd. That's the joy. That's what improv's all about. Getting something completely random that happens to work.
It does feel like something that like somebody would say when you're just messing around with friends, you know, just
right. And then at the same time, I think it works for the burger. Like I think it works for the product, which is what I'm kind of happy about, because I want to be. I'm all for Burger King since like I support Burger King. I wanted this thing to look cool and look delicious for people who would enjoy food like this. So it was fun to just get something that works all the way around.
Have you had many since?
Mini burgers?
Yeah, the burgers.
No, I had enough that day. So I'm not. But not to say that I wouldn't. Not to say that I wouldn't.
If you're going to Burger King, that's it.
If I'm going back to Burger King, I'm definitely getting the Bacon King. Let's just put it that way.
All right, strong endorsement.
Yeah.
Would you give the tour for yourself?
Oh man, probably not. But I might hold it in that way and kind of look at it for a second and then take my first. But no, I don't know. It depends how hungry I am.
So what do you have upcoming then?
I got a couple things coming up. I can't really talk about it yet.
Okay.
Because they're not. Yes.
Spy stuff. I get it.
That's the way it works. But yeah, there's a couple cool jobs that I have in the can, and I have one more coming up in April that I'm going to film. It's going to be a short film in April that I'm doing.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I'm excited about that. It's a great idea and something I'm really looking forward to, and potentially more episodes with the same company after that. So that's coming up. It's going to be fun, and I was proud of that because I didn't have to audition for this. They offered it to me, and I accepted, and my management and everyone was enthusiastic and all for it. So it's nice to have a couple things coming up.
Yeah, it's nice when things come to you.
It is. I find it powerful because like they have my back, you know. They want to work with me.
Well, I wish you all the best in these future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to seeing you on my TV, and hopefully these shorts and episodics and feature films and blockbusters and VR content and whatever else the future takes us, you know?
Definitely, and it'd be great to talk about some more stuff in the future, if, you know, move from this and have another down the road about what I'm doing.
I would love to do that.
For sure.
There's a book of Woody Allen interviews by this guy who interviewed him like every, I want to say 5 years.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting to see like how he evolved in his thinking about things like even color timing or whatnot.
That's great. I'm all for that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for spending so much time for me. I didn't expect it to take this long. I apologize about that.
Don't worry about it.
Clint Brink, thank you so much.
Sir, anytime.
In case you're wondering, after the interview, I did go to Burger King. I did get the Bacon King, and it's satisfying in the ways that only a fast food hamburger could be. If I could have moved into it, I would have. Thank you for listening to this. Thanks to Clint Brink for joining me. Thanks to James Rocky for the equipment. In that case, I should also thank my friend from high school who has continually borrowed this microphone from a church she worked at for quite some time now. And I don't think they're getting it back. If you like this, let me know, and I'll do more. All right, take care. Bye. Love you.